Hello and welcome to the Satluj TV podcast. My guest joining us once again today is a former president of the Sikh Youth of America, former president of one of the largest Gurdwaras in California, and the founder of the Sikh Information Centre, the Organisation for Minorities of India, and the Sovereign Star Publishing Company. But he's also been a prolific author, with published titles including Faces of Terror in India, Demons Within, Cultural Malware, and Kite Fights, amongst many others. Bhajan Singh Bhinder, welcome. Thank you for joining us once again today.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Thank you, Scott, and Guru Fateh to all the viewers of Satluj.
Now, a couple of days ago, we reported on India's intimidation through the US law courts of Professor Audrey Trusk, an academic at Rutgers University. Now, Professor Trusk's alleged crime, she'd written a scholarly exploration of various aspects of Hindu history and culture, and specifically questioned the prevailing narrative of Hindutva. But for daring to call out Hindutva for what it was, she faced 19 months of legal bullying and intimidation under defamation laws by the Hindu Association of America, until fortunately the US court threw out the case, citing her fundamental right to freedom of speech. However, this case turns out to be just the tip of an iceberg. And it turns out Brahmanical outlets like the RSS, amongst others, haven't just been doing their best to silence critics within academia, they've actually been setting up their own complex infrastructure within academic institutions to further this RSS agenda. So, of course, they've managed to put their own people into key positions of power in this process. So we're going to start today's podcast with a short video.
Indian Consul General Ashokji come up and welcome us all here today. Thank you.
I protest this activity. Guru Gobind Singh is a warrior. You are a coward. You have killed so many people in New Delhi. We are suffering. You are coming here representing the government. You say Guru Gobind Singh is defender of truth. You, right here, are representing untruth. You say Guru Gobind Singh represents equality. You represent caste. You are casteist. You belong to the Hindutva forces. You have no business coming here to represent Guru Gobind Singh. We condemn you for coming here.
Okay.
All the Sikhs who are here, they should boycott.
You do not get arrested, do you?
I don't mind. You can arrest me, but you cannot put a turban. That's disgraceful, but put a turban on this consulate. He does not deserve the turban. I was telling
your
you.
Opinion.
Tell him don't put the turban then.
No.
Take the turban away.
He has his voice. And
No.
yours.
You.
Guys,
Panth ki jeet. Raj karega.
Sir.
Raj karega. Raj karega Khalsa. Panth ki jeet. Panth ki jeet. Raj karega Khalsa. Panth ki jeet. Raj karega Khalsa. Raj karega Khalsa. Indian government murdabad. Indian government murdabad. Indian consulate murdabad.
Now, Bhajan, a lot of emotion and anger on display there. Could you perhaps explain what was going on there?
Actually, the seminar was jointly sponsored by the California Loyola Marymount University under the Sikh and Jain Studies program. And the MC for the program was Naranjan Kaur Khalsa, who you can see introducing the Indian consulate in 2017. The occasion was to celebrate the 350th birthday of Guru Gobind Singh. Now, this program was jointly conducted by the Indian Ministry of Culture, the Indian Consulate, and the Sikh Jaini Joint Chair at LMU. So they had planned to do about 20 such programs. They were inviting speakers, and the idea was to really present the whole legacy of Guru Gobind Singh from the perspective of the Indian government and the Indian Consulate with the help of the Sikh Jaini Center and other centers throughout the world. And they mostly focus in North America. You can see this poster was for the one in LA, and the small one is for Boston. So we all too well know that whenever they want to invite speakers and stuff to come and present the Sanatan Dharma, the Hinduized version of the Guru Gobind Singh. Sikhs are very familiar that any time the Indian consulate is involved, the Indian government is involved, that's an automatic red flag for us. So normally universities chairs, they are very like, okay, Buddhist chair, Hindu chair, Muslim chair. But here it's very unique. Just like the Article 25, where Sikhs are clubbed as Hindus, they're trying to have this Sikh Jaini studies cooperation together. So I was in the midst earlier to study this whole chairs and centers phenomena in the university, and we made a report. It's called the cultural malware, and we found out that this whole chairs and all these very deep designs are actually a Hindutva program targeting North American education institutions. So now, if you go back to the Sikh Jaini program that I protested, and according to Naranjan Kaur, the professor for the Jain Sikh Center, she says that it was established in 2015 with the support from the Oberoi Foundation. So the cultural malware report reveals that the tax returns show that they gave this Jain Study Center $57,000, and then part of that was earmarked for the Sikh Jaini chair. So the professor who is at the Sikh Jaini joint sponsorship, she says that her professorship is very unique and is sponsored by the Oberoi Foundation. Now, on the surface, when you look at the Oberoi Foundation, it's like all Hindu agendas, is very benign and seems very benevolent. And only when you look deeply into the sponsor, Oberoi Foundation, you find that the Mr. Ved Nanda, who was the president, who is the foundation chairman, was in fact the former Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad, student wing of RSS in the 60s. Then he became the trustee of the Dharmic Civilization Foundation. He's also advisor to the Hindu Education Foundation. But Mr. Ved Nanda, you can see him regularly coming with Advani and other RSS heads, Mohan Bhagwat here. So he's very close to the RSS institution. He's a product of the RSS. And he came here he was the Sarsang Chalak of the Hindu Swayam Sevak Sangh. He founded in 1989. HSS is the extension of the RSS as an official representative globally for the agenda of the RSS. Now, Nanda, who is very highly educated and who passed away earlier this year, was a dean at the Denver School of Law, very, very highly qualified, very instrumental. And these are the forces who want to conduct this Guru Gobind Singh legacy very early on, want to control the legacy of the Sikhs, Guru Gobind Singh, etc. And it was for this reason that the protest has to be done, because strategically I wanted to show our opposition to their whole agenda at the very onset and not wait for them to successfully celebrate this legacy throughout the world. And it does have an impact. Many of these programs were canceled, like Boston. Once the protests came to the attention of the Sangat, they told everybody not to do it, and the Gurdwara pulled back. And same thing happened in Australia. It did have the video went viral and did have an intended impact. So you can see the background to the Oberoi Foundation, and you can see that how in the 1960s, and with the help of a younger brother of the former RSS head, Sudarshan, set up HSS and this massive network of infiltration into the American institutions. And we will discuss more about this Oberoi Foundation and its impact in America, detrimental to America itself, if not to the whole globe. The current Oberoi Foundation chair is Mr. Yashwant Pathak, who originally comes from Nagpur, and that's where the whole RSS headquarters are.
So Bhajan, this Uberoi Foundation obviously features a lot here. Let's take a look at it as a foundation itself. Could you explain what it gets up to? What are its primary activities?
The Uberoi Foundation is kind of the brainchild of the Sangh Parivar. That is the extended family of organizations globally, the HSS, the Hindu American Foundation, and a host of other foundations that all merge together. And the alliance is to control all kind of activities like Audrey Trusky, how to attack her, how to stop the progression of minorities, how to stop the Sikhs from getting footholds in any industry in America. And to the education, they focus primarily on four activities. They have annual experts meeting where all the experts come together, mostly all the RSS-minded professors, educators, and very few sprinkling of non-Hindus and some Sikhs I've seen in the past attend the meetings. And then their number two goal is to give grants to universities and foundations. Then they want to do teacher training to instruct high school teachers how to teach about India, which means teach about Hindutva. They also want to change the school textbooks, the curriculums, beginning with the California school curriculum textbooks initiative they developed. So this is their primary activity, and the whole the seminar that took place at LMU where I protested, that falls under number two, grant making to universities and foundations. So they developed these four primary activities, and their agenda is organized through a very elaborate network of organizations, centers, and I've tried to put a map. We have tried to put a map of this together. How the Hindutva RSS penetration of the American academic and education institutions are happening right under our nose as we speak.
It's very clearly a very well organised infrastructure, obviously been around for a long time. It's fascinating. Again, it always comes back to the RSS. The RSS is a very shrewd, very extensive organisation that I've noticed in many different areas. It is the serpent with many heads. And here, I think this is a fascinating slide because it just shows the complexities that the RSS has, the extent to which they have gone to ensure that their agenda spreads and infiltrates every element of academia here.
Well, this is a global attack, actually. This is one of the most dangerous developments, I would say, in human history. And the particular focus is Sikhi. So you can see, like Ved Nanda is a former RSS youth wing, one of the most probably very brainy child, sent over to America, took over the Uberoi Foundation, founded the Swayam Sevak Sangh, and then they give grants to Hindu American Foundation that attacks any caste rules or curriculum that will benefit Sikhs and other minorities. They attack to shut that operation down. Then they went after the Human Rights Bill, no on House Resolution 417, which was a bill that would have put certain condition on the developing relationship between India and USA, and this was about 2012. And then you can see they have a Center for Indic Studies. Then they give grants to University of Michigan, the Sikh chair, and then Narendran Kaur Khalsa, Loyola, Marymount College. And then under that, they had the Guru Gobind Singh. So this is all very planned, elaborate system that, from the RSS all the way to Guru Gobind Singh's 350th birthday involving the Indian government. And you can see they're going to UC Irvine to set up another Sikh Jain Buddhist chair. Here's Sikh Jaini, and then he's going to go to Sikh, Hindu Sikh, Jaini Buddhist, and then he's going to go to be a Hindu chair, period, and everybody falls under there. So this is a very massive attack on the whole global education institution. And there are many Sikhs who give money. They want to promote their father's name, their mother's legacy. They put money into this place. And you can see that this operation of Ved Nanda is going back all the way to 1960. And that tells you no matter what's going on in India, whether it's the Congress party in rule, whether it's the BJP or briefly the Jan Sangh party that came, this Hindutva agenda has a life of its own. And you can see here very clearly that every aspect of American institutions are targeted. And this itself is a wake-up call to the world. And this is why I think the Sikhs need to step up and do something about the situation.
Yeah, I was say, Bhajan,
so the other thing...
sorry to interrupt, but I said this is a massive operation, and of course an operation of this size, and of course this with such a history, requires a huge amount of finance. Now we all know money is power, so of course they need money, and that is obviously being disseminated through the system of grants, and of course they're effectively buying people to spread their agenda. But of course it does require a huge amount of finance. So firstly, where is this finance coming, and is there evidence of a large amount of finance in this organisation?
Well, according to the Uberoi Foundation's tax returns, which was we were putting these out around 2017. So 2015 tax returns show there are $7.5 million in assets, and this is just the Uberoi Foundation, notwithstanding the Hindu American Foundation, the HSS, and a host of other organizations, businesses, and many right-wing Hindu pouring money into the university through all these foundations. So definitely a lot of money is involved. And actually, this is an attack on America itself. This is infiltration. This is interference. And all these institutions are going to serve to further the interests of Hindutva, whether they're going to be in political arena, whether they're going to be in the commerce arena, whether they're going to be in the universities and academia. So the money definitely is there, and there's a lot more money that we don't know where that is coming to. And what is very, very obvious is they want to control the mind and the foundations of a country like America. For example, through its money, the Uberoi Foundation sponsored a pilot program, University of Massachusetts. So during 2009 and 10, and they were targeting the audience to learn, the teachers to learn about Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism, and Jainism through the prism of Uberoi, which is the extension of the RSS. So not only that they are using these monies to shut down human rights bill, oppose caste laws, but they also dare to intensify the impact of Article 25 globally, where the Sikhs and Buddhists and Jains are all clubbed and under the term of they are called Hindus under the Indian Constitution. And you can see how that is being played out in the global circle and into the very foundation of American education, and to seeds these seeds of anti-Sikh beliefs, so that Sikhs would be viewed as nothing more than an extension of Hindutva. In fact, not even Hindu anymore, extension of Hindutva now. And this court is not independent. The Uberoi Foundation doesn't work independently from the New Delhi programs. We have seen how there is a secret committee organized by Prime Minister Modi that they want to revise the whole history of India. They have an annual budget of $400 million. And you can see they want to shape the agenda of this secret committee is to create a Hindu Rashtra, a kingdom. And that period, there's no Sikhs, no Jainis, no Buddhists, nothing. They just want to create one kingdom that will either assimilate all or annihilation of all. So if you go by this budget and the workings of the Uberoi, who knows how much more secret money is coming into these joint ventures directed from RSS Nagpur centers right into America's, the heart of America, which is the education of America. And they want to challenge the school textbooks of America. They want to change the history of America to conform to the ideas of Hindutva. And the target of Sikhi is primary. And this itself tells you that the collaboration is going on irrespective who is at power. What might come tomorrow? There'll be another party that might come. But this system in place is global, and it derives its energy, derives its ideas, motivations from the RSS headquarters in Nagpur. And here is one example where they wanted the review of the school textbooks. They took a very special interest in the school textbook reforms in California. So the California Board of Education, they allow you to come and make suggestions for the betterment of the education. But the work of Uberoi Foundation it should be a detriment to the education system of America, because they want to put a history of myth rather than a history of truth. And one important thing, the most important thing they target is Sikhi and the word Sikh and anything to do with Sikh history in America. For example, they wanted to, for example, Guru Nanak's opposition to Brahmanism or caste. They said that Guru Nanak's primary focus was to challenge the Mughal authorities and not to look at the edited sentence right here. Sikhism was founded by Guru Nanak, a social reformer who stressed the personal worship of God, the quality of all people, and challenged the power of the Mughal. So Guru Nanak's teachings and his extensive work is simply reduced to a tirade against the Mughal Empire, which is completely contradictory to the teachings and the history of Guru Nanak.
Yeah, Bhajan, if I can...
They spend a lot of time to
If I may jump in there, Bhajan, because this immediately jumps out to me, because even from my own understanding of the foundations of Sikhi, going back to actually the divergence of the Sikh community from the rest of India as it was at the time, the Hindus essentially, it basically came back to the Sikhs rejecting the whole caste system. Because of course the fundamental basis of Sikhi is that everybody's treated as an equal. And so that very foundation of the religion right from the very beginning is to try and change that in any textbook, to me, just shouts out it's an obvious revision of history. Is there any pushback? I mean, maybe it's a silly question, but surely there must be some very strong pushback, even from not just the Sikh community, but from others, from the US government, for example. Is there any pushback on something as basic as this?
Well, the pushback, luckily for the Sikhs, there were some very extraordinary human beings. I want to give a shout out to Bhajan Singh Bhinder, who led a big fight against this effort to target the Sikhi. I myself went to speak at the hearings, and we opposed it. And this is a rare occasion where Dalits, Sikhs, Ambedkarites, Ravidas Sabhas, we all came together in union and spoke together in support of equal rights, against caste, and for the teachings of Guru Nanak and Bhakt Ravidas enshrined in the Guru Granth Sahib. Yes, there was massive protest. There were a lot of news about it, and they wanted to. They got away with very few things, very minor changes, but overwhelmingly we managed to fight and reject their efforts. And there was some major news coverage on this, that how the school textbook curriculum input to the California Board of Education has created such a division within the Indian community, especially the majority of the population who are low caste and other populations who are being targeted, such as Sikhs, who are the champions of the oppression as directed by the teaching of the Bhagats and the Gurus. Definitely, there was a lot of pushback. And another reason for the pushback, not only they were targeting the history of the Gurus, the teachings of the Gurus, they were targeting everything. They wanted to target Bhakt Kabir Ji about his Gurbani, and which is actually an attack on Guru Granth Sahib itself. And another wake-up call for Sikhs, they want to eliminate the very word Sikh from being mentioned in anything in USA. And here's one example. The first Asian to become a congressman in America was Dalip Singh Sound, a Sikh from Amritsar. He was the first Asian, which is historical in America, and he was a very extraordinary statesman, a politician, and very brilliant man. So he is mentioned as a Sikh in the California Board of Education, in the school textbooks, that Dalip Singh Sound, who is a Sikh. And you can see here, they recognize the Sikh as an entity who came to America. And here they wanted to, I'll get back to Dalip Singh Sound shortly, but here they wanted to change the Sikhs into South Asians. And they said that don't use the word Sikhs as the early pioneers that came to America and helped build America along with the Filipinos and other communities. So you can see it's a deliberate, it's very calculated, and it is at the highest intellectual level of the Hindu mindset, Hindutva mindset. And this is where we definitely need to wake up and see the depth of anti-Sikh feelings, and to the extent these people will go to attack anything Sikh, Sikhi, or related to our history. And I was mentioning Dalip Singh Sound earlier. Again, look here. This is directly from the public comments, and who is making this comment? Murali Balaji and Shuhak Shukla of the Hindu American Foundation. I pointed out the road, the map, the extensive connections to these organizations, and you can see how Hindu American Foundation wants to take out the word Sikh and say he's an Indian immigrant because he wrote a book at one time that says Mother India. That, of course, got nothing to do with him either stating that he's not a Sikh. In fact, his last rites, a counterpart book was his last rites were done with the Ardas in Washington, D.C., and we have the records for that. But this shows you the level they want to go to attack the Sikh idea. And then they want to also further dilute Guru Granth Sahib. They want to indirectly attack other Granths and also attacked the teachings of Guru Nanak. So this, in a nutshell, tells you the level of operations that are going on under the agenda of the Uberoi Foundation and its Sangh Parivar organization. And by the way, all these curriculum edits that were going on, whether it was Dalip Singh Sound attacking Guru Nanak's teachings or the history of the Sikhs, every Hindu politician in America, from mayors to city council members, even the Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, at that time she was a Congresswoman, they all wrote letters of support telling the California School Board of Education to listen to the voices of organizations such as Hindu American Foundation, the Uberoi Foundation. So you can see, on one hand, swearing to the Constitution of America, the likes of Tulsi and other elected officials actually are behaving like Trojan horses of the Hindutva forces. And that is not loyal to the American idea of Americanism, which believes in freedom of speech, education, and to empower the human being to maximize their contributions to society by giving this kind of misfits and mythological teachings, and to deter from the sacrifices of the Guru, the sons of Guru Gobind Singh. So much sacrifice has been done to uplift society, and the Gurus gave their lives. I mean, to be born in the house of Guru was having an immediate death sentence, whether you are from the time of Guru Nanak or the time of Banda Singh Bahadur. Just being connected to Sikhi was a constant watch, just like today, transnational repression. You talk about anything to do with Sikhs, you want to promote Sikhi, then you have assassins, they send people to your office, criminals, so they can target you. So it seems, in many ways, the struggle continues, and it is important that we understand the implications of all this in the world we are living in today.
And then you've mentioned in the past Anders Breivik, this gentleman in Norway who was responsible for a dreadful crime, assassinating many people with a rifle, particularly youngsters in a holiday camp. But he regularly refers to saffronization. He has idolized almost Hindutva. Is that something that you could perhaps enlighten us on a little further?
Yes, all this talk about Uberoi Foundation in America, they have some kind of similar extension. For example, the Uberoi Foundation and some of the affiliates are also promoting saffronization of the white supremacists in Europe with indoctrinations, with mentorships, and all kind of programs. There is a publication house, Arctos, which was actually a white nationalist publication. And this Arctos was actually created in India. It was created initially in India, and then is functioning in Europe as a publication warehouse, a huge publication warehouse geared towards white supremacists, white nationalism. And this you might say the education has taken hold in this very dangerous era where many European countries are now leaning towards the right. And in his manifesto, after he killed over 70 innocent people in Norway because of his stance against multiculturalism, which is also what the RSS believe, that they do not believe in multiculturalism, and they want to profit from the experiments of the Nazi against the Jews and other minorities of Europe. For example, the Roma gypsies and Catholics, so many others were targeted along with the Jewish community. So he is saying, Anders is saying, saffronization is a political neologism used to refer to the policy of right-wing Hindu nationalism, which seeks to make the Indian state into a Hindu nation and its Sikh, Buddhist, and Jain minorities incorporated into Hinduism. So you can clearly see all this education and system, which is global and covers every corner of the world. Hindutva is busy in Indonesia. It's busy all over the world. So Sikhs being a target without a homeland, we really have to see. We really have to invest in our identity, in our belief system, that with so much dangerous geopolitical situation going on, every moment, just like the poet Nandalal said, every moment deserves extraordinary attention at these times. So this is the time for our Gurdwaras, the time for our educated community to invest in awareness, and because of the inherent dangers that are very obvious. And that's why I had to strategically reach out at LMU and make sure at least, my protest is like a sand in the ocean. It's nothing. It's but a small sharing the experience with you, that sometimes a small voice can stop. They were intending to do these 20 over programs in the world, and it kind of fizzled out. And they're still continuing their efforts in different ways. But we will try to, we need to fight this in every level, from protests, from the pens, from our academia. We need every Sikh to be on board. Every person with resource need to come and look, where would we go? In the end, where would we go? We left Pakistan, we left India, we are leaving our safe lands that have been taken over by Hindutva forces and designs. Where would we go? That's the question that is very important for us today, Scott.
Yeah, I think it's actually provided a fascinating context to, as I said in my introduction, the story that we'd covered before about the Hindu American Foundation attacking Professor Trusk for what she had done. And I said in the introduction it was the tip of an iceberg. What an understatement. And I think you provided a fascinating context of just how extensive this network that the RSS has spread across the globe to spread its agenda. Effectively, Modi is clearly rewriting history to suit the RSS agenda and ultimately the Brahmins' agenda. One final question, Bhajan, if I may, and it's something that's always struck me when I look at this whole situation and the Hindu Rashtra, the RSS agenda. Clearly, as you've pointed out here, they are determined to essentially cast Sikhs and Jains and the minorities in India as Hindus, despite the basic religious and philosophical differences between certainly Sikhs and Hindus, as we've pointed out on many occasions. So their aspiration for a Hindu Rashtra, a nation where everybody is a Hindu and the whole nation's philosophy is cast in the Hindu religion. Now, ultimately, they're going to end up with hundreds of millions of citizens who are Hindus by unwillingness. They are not going to be willing citizens and willing followers of Hinduism. They have very clearly cast the Sikh community as the highest threat. Hence decades, if not longer, of oppression. In fact, decades, actually, of course, it's centuries of oppression going back to that very first divergence of the first guru who rejected the caste system. So traditionally, historically, the Hindus have seen the Sikhs as their most dangerous threat to their existence. So my simple question, and I have asked this to many guests, and I'll ask it to you, Bhajan, if I may, is it not easier, and maybe this is naive to even think this, But is it not easier if you were sitting as Narendra Modi, and let's just even go higher than Narendra Modi, if you were not one of the RSS architects, and indeed the architects of Brahmanism, would it not be easier, instead of having hundreds of millions of unhappy fake Hindus, is to let the Sikh community have their own land, carve away a little part of northwest India, call it Khalistan, and move your biggest threat into a different land so that they never more become a threat to your existence? Is that naive, or is that indeed a strategy that we should be adopting?
Well, first of all, we need to recognize that threat, address that threat. And this threat is real, and it is going to pose physical, economical, social, religious challenges globally to every Sikh, no matter, time will tell, and time is telling. So the issue with India, the issue with India is its doctrines. Its doctrines of Hindu, caste, mythological, and other. There must be some good things there too, but overwhelmingly, the Sikh gurus had came in with some very extraordinary need of the hour, and so have many others worked towards social, like Periyar. So many people, they work in their respective areas. Like Periyar was very instrumental in helping the people of Tamil Nadu. So each time there's opposition to uplifting society to better society. That's why you can, I was hearing your podcast with GB Singh, that how they choose to become communist and side with the Russians rather than open up society, because they really want to block the majority of the population. 90% of the population don't want to be associated with such doctrines as the caste doctrines. Just recently, the RSS tried to repackage and resell the caste as a good thing for a human being. And it is more of the same stuff that you hear for centuries. And I think the biggest folly the Hindu state made is having good ideas, good people with strong loyalty tendencies, not only to India, but globally to wherever they reside. They act as very important arms for that nations. And India had made a blunder by wanting to have this enemy situation and want to annihilate the Sikhs. And many have come and failed. And they will fail too, because that height of the climax of the Hindutva, it will end. And you can see how it's having impact in America, how far ahead the Sikhs are reaching out, researching them. So all these talks and our dialogues are all leading to build a nation. We want our place under the sun on this earth. We are sovereign people. Our gurus, our creator has made us sovereign, and we are here to serve the whole human race. The sooner the Modis of the world realize this, the better. But I have very sincere doubts that they are going to use the common sense at all. Look how exposed they are in America, trying to take over America through these ridiculous ideas of Brahmanism, of this Chanakya Niti, of cunningness, cleverness, mischievousness, cunningness, and all these issues about the Hindu leadership has been addressed by people like Churchill and many others, where they've seen this kind of behavior as unhealthy for the coexistence of the greater human race. This is not the right way to do things. And we have seen such ideas have led to wars, led to famines, has led to nuclear weapons being used. So sooner we have some sane minds sitting and talking to the Sikhs and how to resolve this issue by giving Sikhs their proper place, their land, their freedom, and the sooner is better, not only for India, but the whole world.
Indeed, a powerful note to finish on. But unfortunately there we must leave it, but we will be talking with Bhajan Singh Bhinder again soon to continue our discussions. Bhajan, it's been an absolute pleasure as always. Thanks so much for joining us once again.
Thank you for having me, Scott. Thank you.
A pleasure as always. And thank you for watching the Satluj TV podcast. We will see you next time.